Hello, welcome to Wikifiends. I'm your host, Joe.
I'm David.
And we're the Wikifiends. We're going to be reading some Wikipedia articles and giving you our opinions. So the first one I have tonight is Gloria Allred. Are you familiar with Gloria Allred?
It sounds really familiar.
Well, this take on the article is a little different than normally it would be. Gloria Allred is a lawyer. And
lawyer.
Yes, she's a lawyer, and she's represented a bunch of people that have been in the news. And I'm most familiar with her from sort of media that is critical of her. Normally calling her, sort of like painting her as like either an ambulance chaser or like a publicity hound, or as someone who is who you go to if your case doesn't really have any merit.
This is ringing a bell. This is I think I know who you're talking about.
And the reason I first looked at a Wikipedia page for her was that I saw that she was representing the defendants against she's representing the parties that are against Bill Cosby and his sexual assault.
Wait, say that again. So is she going? Is she with Bill or against Bill?
She's representing the people against him.
Okay, so all right, I gotcha.
And what I had sort of heard of her, that made me think like, oh man, I guess that's not, that made me think, well, that's not a good sign for those victims. Or
is she kind of like she has like a reputation like a Jackie Childs or something, like from Seinfeld, kind of like just like
well, Jackie Childs was based off of
Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran, and hers is more like, I think Johnny Cochran's thing was like, at least in terms of the OJ, was that like you get Johnny Cochran if you're guilty, right? But I think hers is more of like a thing of like, if you have some crazy lawsuit that you want to try to like pinch money out of someone, you get Gloria Allred because she'll take any crazy case, sort of a thing.
Is that what her rep is?
That's sort of a rep, and I think they talked about her a lot on the Fox News comedy show Red Eye. Which I used to watch fairly often in the past, but I've kind of haven't been watching it that much.
Has she been involved in other? I mean, I know you're going to get to this, but I feel like it's like she's kind of like hasn't she been involved in like other kind of celebrity like rape cases? Like she's kind of like yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that she represented the interests of Nicole Simpson in the OJ case. Okay,
so she was with Nicole. Okay.
Yeah, but Nicole was dead at the time, so I guess she represented Nicole's family. I don't know. I don't know if that was just in the civil trial, or if she was on sort of. I mean, I would imagine that'd be the civil trial, because I don't think she was involved in the prosecution. In the criminal case, but she's been involved in a lot of things. She would sort of crop up on the news, sort of like a lot of times in like celebrity sex scandals, and she'd also appear as like a sort of like a talking head, giving her opinion on sort of celebrity legal cases.
I see.
But the thing that I found interesting is the article itself on Wikipedia. It seems to be heavily manicured from the from someone in Gloria Allred's camp, because the first thing that stands out is, like at the beginning of a Wikipedia article, they'll say their name, and
Right.
then like all other instances, more or less, they'll just say the last name. Like, for instance, for President Obama, they'll just refer to him as Obama, or
Right.
Paul Simon, they'll refer to him as Simon. But in this, every time her name is mentioned, aside from like opening sentences, they refer to her as Miss Allred, which to me sounds like someone in her employ either wrote or altered her page
Because of the honorific is maintained.
Yeah, it is not something that I see a lot in Wikipedia articles.
I feel like I've seen that on other ones, but there might be a pathology to that it is like, because I mean the implication is it's like an employee, right, or like a flunky made the changes.
Not even like it's not that what I got from it is that it wasn't someone who was doing it because that's how they thought it should be, but like they were doing it to Gloria Allred's specifications, like make sure I'm addressed as Miss Allred. Again, this is pure speculation on my part, though.
Okay.
And it has some other things that sort of a lot of there's really no citations in it at all, pretty much.
Right.
And this would be a good port for me to sort of add in some editing of this, because there's a lot of things that I feel would need citation needed.
Citation.
That should say that. Like for instance, there's a part here. Miss Allred is the only individual in the nation to win the 1986 Public Service Award from the National Association of Federal Investigators. Right. So the thing that first sort of piqued my interest of that is she the only individual to win in 1986, or the only one to win overall? But it says it's worded specifically like the only individual in the nation to win the 1986 Public Service Award. So that makes it sound like other people win in other years. So I did some digging on Google. I found no National Association of Federal Investigators at all. No page. There's no Wikipedia article for that organization. There's no Google page for it. There was another page that was
What about Wayback Machine? You just did through current Google?
I did through current Google, but there was no mention of it at any other time. And there was one that was sort of related, but it didn't have the right name. Again, there's no source on this to verify
Confirm.
it. Yeah, and I also Googled the phrase Public Service Award from the National Association of Federal Investigators. All the first ones to come up were all about Gloria Allred on a Google search.
Right.
So it looks like the only, and I'm not talking about Wikipedia pages, they're her pages. So the only time it's mentioned is in relation to her, which seems very suspicious to me.
Wait, let me hear the second one again. So the first one is she won a prize that doesn't seem to exist anywhere except for on her Wikipedia page. And the second odd thing was what exactly?
Well, that's all one thing.
Okay.
The organization doesn't seem to exist is the first thing. The second thing is the only time it's mentioned that organization is mentioned is in articles about her.
Okay. So okay, I'm with you.
Again, there's other things that seem plausible, but there's no citation for it. Los Angeles Business Journal named her one of the 50 most powerful women in Los Angeles. That was in 1998. 2000 Daily Journal named her one of the 100 most influential lawyers in California. But there's no citations for that, and the Daily Journal is not sort of there's no link for the Daily Journal as there are other magazines. Someone did add a citation needed for the line. Recently, President Obama introduced Miss Allred as one of the best attorneys in the country. I'd be curious to see where where that where that was from. And there's
that's not cited either.
It says that's the only one where it says citation needed, but none of these have citations.
Wait, there's no citations at all?
No. There's only one thing listed under references, and one is from her, and it's from her book. The other note on her page, there's a file for notes. It's Gloria Allred's official website, gloriaallred.com. And there's one other thing. I don't. This seems like a legitimate thing, but she was in 2015. She was honored with the inaugural LG Award for her decades-long commitment to secure equality for the LGBT. It doesn't say what organization gave her that. I did some digging, and it appears that it was from the current SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, its current incarnation. And it's LG Award, like it's spelled ELGY, and it's I am assuming it's the pronunciation of the first two letters of LGBT, LG.
I gotcha.
But it seems like there's only been one award show, and she's the winner of it. It was from last year in January, so more than a year has passed, and there hasn't been a second award.
So let me make sure I got this straight. I've been writing this down. You're thinking that she's altering her page potentially, giving herself fake awards, and possibly even having her own award given to her by this organization.
Well, yeah, I looked into it, and it appears that the award was real.
LG exists?
It seems like it did, but it only existed for one instance, and she was, I think it was her and someone else in the same evening both got an award, but they haven't had it. They haven't had another one since.
What? So it's an LGBT group based out of where?
No, it's the Screen Actors Guild.
Oh, okay.
Gave her the award.
SAG. It's SAG gave her it.
It's SAG's current incarnation. SAG recently merged with another group. It's SAG-AFTRA.
Oh, SAG-AFTRA, right.
AFTRA.
Okay.
Let me see.
So wait, where'd you get the LG from?
LG was just the name of the award that was created.
I see.
They came up with supposedly SAG-AFTRA came up with the name of the award. They're the ones that gave it. But it hasn't been given since. So it seems like it's possible like she could have been doing some palm greasing to get this award, If they only have it one time and it's only for her, I mean, at the very least, it lends less credence to it being a legitimate thing, It's sort of like that Simpsons episode where it's the first annual Montgomery Burns Award for outstanding achievement in the field of excellence. Right.
Or like, did you ever see The People versus Larry Flint? Like People like for Free Speech or something? Like that organization he made up?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want to get it straight. Like, so but this is what I want to know. What the motive? Like, I mean, she's obviously a highly desirable, you know what I'm saying? Like individual. Why would she be padding her fucking wiki page? Like,
I don't think she is I don't think she is highly desirable. I think she's looked at as sort of I don't want to say a pariah, but she's not taken seriously. And I looked up to see public opinion on her because I didn't know if it was just like, again, I did watch that Fox show Red Eye, which spoke of her in a derogatory way, and I just wanted to make sure if it wasn't a thing that it was the Fox comedy show was coming at it from a right wing angle. But it seems like
you're fact checking them. You want to see if they're coming at her half cocked.
Yeah, and it seems like some of the big ones that I noticed that were critical of her were Fox News, Daily Beast, and then Jezebel, which I don't think I don't think of Jezebel as being a right wing, publication.
What about Daily Beast?
I don't know if Daily Beast is or is not.
Yeah, I don't know shit about them. I know about Jezebel. I know Fox News. I know
Michael Moynihan wrote for the Daily Beast at one point, I believe, and he's a libertarian. It might just be sort of. It might be like a
edgy,
disparate political beliefs in within the site itself.
It's just an edgy site.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me just make sure. I mean, I could go deep into this with you. Do you want to do that a little bit? Do you want to do? This is a little flavor of what we would do hanging out by ourselves. Would you? Can I ask some more questions?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we don't have to go super long on it, but I just found it, an interesting example of a possible, site manicuring.
Well, I'll say I 100% agree with you. The most likely it is manicured. And the fact that you did a little homework and seeing that the award has no other references, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But what it does mean, though, is it's an institution that's not still relevant, at least. So that implies a kind of, well, I guess that's not such a big deal, but you know what I mean, though? But what I want to know is this, though, is who were her big clients and what did they make fun of her for? What's the thing she's lampooned for? Is she a target of manosphere red pill dudes, or you know what I'm saying? I want to know who her enemies are and who her clients have been. That's what I'm interested in, and I think I'd give my full analysis then.
We'd be getting off Wikipedia because it doesn't really have a list of her clients on Wikipedia.
What is available on there about her?
On Wikipedia, it mainly just has a list of her awards and sort of people that have praised for her. Uh-huh. So there's nothing about how she's sort of it has a little bit about her education, a little very small amount about her family, and then I guess just all the sort of awards and honors she has received, all the praise people have for her. There's really nothing negative about it at all.
Well, what were they making fun of her or jocking her for on Fox News or whatever you were watching?
Well, again, this was years ago that I first heard. First was like, oh God, and I remember
how long ago was this? How long ago was this?
How long ago was what?
Did you see this? Or you say this was years ago. How long ago?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, just 2 years, not even that long. Okay.
Yeah, and apparently, The Guardian has an article called "Gloria Allred's 10 Most High-Profile Legal Cases and Scandals." It says, celebrity lawyer's newest client is the former girlfriend of the accused face-eating cannibal in Miami. And that's not a surprise.
Wait, girlfriend of the cannibal in Miami.
I was seeing when this article's from. I'm not entirely sure. I would imagine it was from maybe a couple years ago when that guy in Florida that was allegedly on bath salts ate someone's face.
I thought so. That guy. Had a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. No, but he ate a homeless guy's face, right?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I don't. I think why that's critical is because there was no reason for her to get a lawyer. So it seems like
the girlfriend of the guy who was fucked up. Did you ever hear about that? By the way, it wasn't bath salts. He was high on weed.
Yes, I had heard that.
You hear that, kids?
Yeah. So it seems like she represents people that really don't need any representation, and she's doing it for the spotlight. Right. She represented the girlfriend of Dodi Fayed, who died with Princess Diana in that French car crash.
Oh, I see.
She represented the girlfriend, held a press conference with model Kelly Fisher, who claimed to be engaged to Fayed, and promptly sued him for breach of contract. I guess this was before Fayed died, because it doesn't mention anything about that at all.
Wait, wait, but from even these two, the idea is that it's like she reads things in the news, and then she grabs the closest person she can get to it and tries to get them to do some kind of lawsuit to bring her self-prestige.
Yeah, and that was sort of the Jezebel article, sort of. That's where they were coming from in their criticism of her.
I see.
She represented the girlfriend of Scott Peterson, the guy that killed his wife.
Yeah, okay. I think that's where okay. I think I know the Tiger Woods thing, and I think I remember the Scott Peterson thing.
So I guess some of them seem like they're legitimate, like she represented, but they're all sort of celebrity people attached to celebrities. She represented Scary Spice, and apparently I wasn't aware of this, but Eddie Murphy fathered a child with one of the Spice Girls.
What?
It's apparently.
Yo, wiki fact. Which one? How old?
Mel Scary Spice.
Which one was she?
That's the black one.
Oh, was that? I thought that was Sporty.
No, Sporty's the one that was.
Oh, that's right. She was kind of goth. Like, wasn't Scary kind of like she's like a scary black chick?
Well, she just had like hair, like big hair with like color in it, I guess.
I thought she was kind of like weird though. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like her thing wasn't. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I thought there was more to like emotional aspect. I mean, scary. You know. Okay. Anyway, whole different tangent. All right, but yeah. So she had Scary as a client. She had a couple big people like Scott Peterson's wife.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what do you think about it? I'll wait to give mine. What's your conclusion after seeing all this?
Well, I don't think Gloria Allred is sort of like on the, you know, I don't think she's really like an honest, you know, believable person.
Oh wait, let me ask this.
I don't think she's a trustworthy person. I don't know how that would affect, because if I would imagine if I was some of the women going against Cosby, I would want a sort of a more reputable lawyer than Gloria Allred. But you know,
I left out an important question before we wrap this up. How often does she win these fucking things? Does she win? What's her fucking rate? Like, is she perform?
I don't know. It seems like there is a lot of settling. I mean,
good settling? Like,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't go into that. I mean, nothing is on Wikipedia about her win record. Nothing.
Well, that's bullshit.
but I don't think that's surprising. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think lawyers have their win record, and a lot of times settlements are of a undisclosed. It's an undisclosed settlement, so I think that's that's not surprising to me.
Well, I'm going to assume that she probably has some wins, enough wins to make her desirable in big suits. So, and this is a living person. Dirt's not all out yet. I'm going to assume it is a highly manicured page, and she might not win everyone, but she probably has a decent enough rate for her to sucker more people in. So,
yeah, I would, if she's listening, I would suggest altering, if you are in the habit of doing upkeep on your Wikipedia page or employing someone that does, I would suggest getting rid of the Miss Allred line, if that was in fact what you had requested that an employee do, and just leave it with Allred, because that seems much more in line with how every other person is sort of referred to on Wikipedia. So I don't think I think it's bad. It's bad to stand out that way.
Miss Gloria, if you're listening, contact wikifiends@gmail.com. We are authentic Wikipedia astroturfers. We will do a much better job than your current employee. We will have all your wins. We will call you, what was her last name?
Allred.
We will not call you Ms. Allred. It will look completely legitimate.
It'll say just Allred. And that's an easy enough change. I could do it right now if I wanted to, but
two guys that know this shit, and this is what I think. I bet people there's people talking shit about her on Jezebel or Fox News, but I bet you not many people even look her shit up other than potential clients. And we here at Wikifiends know that, Gloria, Miss Allred, and we can handle it. so please.
And I feel like I was careful enough in my language to avoid being entangled in a lawsuit. I didn't say that you did any of these things, for sure. It just seems like it's possible that you may have.
All I'm saying is when shit comes down to the wire, you need good people on your wiki for your reputation. Yo. That's a good article.
Yeah. So, what do you have?
All right. Let me see. All right, here's a good one. Here's a good brain scratcher, a thought provoker. It's the Ring of Gyges. Mm-hmm. The Ring of Gyges is a mythical magical artifact. Ooh, let me start over. The Ring of Gyges is a mythical magical artifact mentioned by the philosopher Plato in Book 2 of his Republic. It granted its owner the power to become invisible at will. Through the story, Republic considers whether an intelligent person would be moral if he did not have to fear being caught or punished for doing injustices. Okay, so the legend where this is derived is Gyges of Lydia was a historic king, the founder of the Mernad dynasty of Lydian kings. Various ancient works, the most well-known being the histories of Herodotus, gave different accounts of the circumstances of his rise to power. However, all agree in asserting that he was originally a subordinate of King Candales of Lydia, and that he killed King Candales and seized the throne, and that he had either seduced Candales' queen before killing him and married her afterwards, or both. In Glaucian's recounting of the myth, which is clearly not based on historical fact, an unnamed ancestor was a shepherd in the service of the ruler of Lydia. After an earthquake, a cave was revealed in a mountainside where he was feeding his flock. Upon entering the cave, he discovered it was in fact a tomb with a bronze horse containing a corpse, larger than a man, which wore a gold ring, which he pocketed. This unnamed ancestor of Gyges discovered that the ring gave him the power to become invisible by adjusting it. He then arranged to be the chosen one of the messengers who reported to the king to the status of the flocks. Arriving at the palace, he used his new power of invisibility to seduce the queen, and with her help, he murdered the king and became king of Lydia himself. So, and I'll just talk briefly about its role in Plato's Republic. In Republic, the tale of the Ring of Gyges is described by a character of Glaucon, who is a brother of Plato. Glaucon asks whether any man can be so virtuous that he could resist the temptation of being able to perform any act without being known or discovered. Glaucon suggests that morality is only a social construct, the source of which is the desire to maintain one's reputation for virtue and justice. Hence, if that sanction were removed, one's moral character would evaporate. This is what Glaucon posits. Suppose now that there were two such magic rings, and then just put one of them on and unjust the other. No man can be imagined to be such of an iron nature he would stand fast in justice. No man would keep his hands off what was not his own, when he could take safely what he liked out of the market, or go into houses and lie with anyone at his pleasure, or kill or release from prison whom he would, and in all respects be a god among men. Then the actions of the just would be as the actions of the unjust. They would both come at last to the same point. And at this we may truly affirm to be a great proof that man is just, not willingly or because he thinks justice is any good to him individually, but of necessity. For whenever anyone thinks he can be safely unjust, he there is unjust. For all men believe in their hearts that justice is far more profitable, or that injustice is far more profitable to the individual than justice. And he who argues, as I have been supposing, will say they are right. If you could imagine anyone obtaining this power of becoming invisible and never doing anything wrong or touching what was another's, he would be thought by the onlookers to be the most wretched idiot, although they would praise him to one another's faces and keep up appearances of one another from a fear that they too may suffer injustice. Though his answer to Glaucon's challenge is delayed, Socrates ultimately agrees that justice does not derive from this social construct. The man who abused the power of the Ring of Gyges has in fact enslaved himself to his appetites, while the man who chose not to use it remains rationally in control of himself and is therefore happy. So,
now this must link somewhere to Lord of the Rings, correct?
Oh yeah, it's the same fucking thing. The one ring from Lord of the Rings grants invisibility to its wearer but corrupts the owner. Both were found in a cave. Although there is speculation that Tolkien was influenced by Plato's story, a search on Gyges and Plato in his letters and biography provides no evidence of this. So he stole it but didn't tell anybody. Unlike Plato's ring, Tolkien's exerts a malevolent force that necessarily destroys the morality of the wearer. So it's very slightly different. I don't
think it needs to be. I mean, I don't think that's like a he stole it thing. I mean, even if it was exactly the same. I mean, it's there's a whole narrative around the ring in the Lord of the Rings that.
No, I think it's a big difference though, because in the Ring of Gyges, according to Glaucon's interpretation is that the evil is inherent in man or sentient beings, but the implication in Tolkien, there's an out. It's that it makes you bad. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think you could you could use sort of any like you can use analysis to sort of make the case that the magic is pulling out that sort of man's inherent nature, and it's not corrupting it from the outside. I think that's like a possible reading you could have of it.
I don't know Tolkien that much.
I don't know Tolkien that well myself.
At least I don't know. Like I remember those scenes, and I don't know if it's. I feel like that they could be painted in a way where it is like it's things that Frodo thought already about doing, or some shit like that. But I feel like that's kind of a big, like, conceptual difference, though. You know what I mean? Like, because if it is at face value that the ring makes you evil in Lord of the Rings, then the moral is power corrupts, right? Or like this power corrupts. And Glaushen's thing is man is corrupt. You know what I mean? It's kind of a big difference. One's much more nihilistic than the other, or in my opinion, or existentially nihilistic.
I think the notion that power corrupts, though, I think that's not distinct from man is corrupt, because it's not like, it's man that has power. Man that has power over others. So it's not,
right.
The sort of like the Acton, Lord Acton, aphorism that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I mean that's inherent, like intrinsic to that is that power that man would have, like power that man would have over another man.
Right.
So it's not, it presupposes that there's a man, man as in human.
Both do.
But isn't part, like, again, I don't know the source material too well, but isn't part of, like, Lord of the Rings that to an extent Frodo is able to resist the sort of thrall of the ring more so than other people?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's like a thing where, like, he relinquishes its power, though. It's not like he can keep its power and be pure. He has to get rid of the power to be able to maintain his purity.
I think it was also like Frodo wasn't seeking out the power. He was given the power, and he just held on to it till he could get rid of it. So I think that's part of it.
That's an interesting point. That's kind of like the what is it? Like the farmer elected to emperor. Like, he didn't ask for this, but as long as he's got it, he's gonna treat it like he did on his farm, like justly. You know what I mean? Kind of like this perfect, like the truly moral individual, truly virtuous individual would use it for the betterment.
Well, that's sort of like an old either, like an anarchist or possibly a libertarian idea of sort of the man, anyone seeking to rule by definition is unfit corrupt to rule.
Right.
I don't know. Do you think you could resist the power of a ring that turned you invisible?
Hell no. You'd be an idiot not to abuse it. I'm totally with Glaushen on this. Like,
I don't know. I feel like I mean, this might be hubris, but I feel like I could do a lot of good with that ring.
Till you had a bad night.
Oh God, no! I feel like I could resist it long enough and only use it for good.
No, Glaushen. I don't know all the fucking Republic, but I know he's kind of a real status seeker. Like, he is a politician. Like, he wants to get into politics, and I think Socrates kind of dissuades him from it. It's like, oh, it'll fuck you up and all this. And
yeah, politics is shitty.
The point is, though, is that Glaushen's kind of he's kind of a corrupt character anyway, I believe. I mean, I could be totally wrong about this, but I think he's kind of a wealth, fame, status seeker. So it kind of fits in with his character or like his archetype to be like, oh, how could anyone resist? You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that I'm the same thing. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter if I am or not, but the point is I agree regardless. Like, I would agree in kind of like a numerical sense. 9 times out of 10.
Now, I want to talk about the line about lie with anyone he wishes. That's like a rape thing, right? Go into anyone's house and lie with whoever.
Well, and it's interesting they compare this to being a god. That it's like you eat whatever you want, you take whatever you want, and it's essentially rape or abuse anyone you want, and it's just it's the will of God.
Well, this is a lot like that Kevin Bacon movie Hollow Man.
Like,
it's the part where he rapes a woman as a hollow man.
We might have to add that to the cultural influences. I do not see Hollow Man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Why don't we leave it up for a little bit and see if someone does it after listening to this?
Well, they've got H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man, so it's just someone has to fucking get it together. That
I never read Invisible Man, but yeah, I don't know, that one's pretty good.
It's a big difference, though. Like, it's like can Hollow Man, like, or the Invisible Man, like, decide if he's invisible or not? Because, like, the ring implies you can take it on and put it off. Like,
well, I think in Hollow Man he had a special latex suit that he wore that was flesh colored, and then he wore a hat and sunglasses.
I see.
Just like how the Invisible Man, and I haven't seen the Invisible Man since I was a kid, but he wore bandages, so he looked like a burn victim.
That's right, but it's a thing that they essentially had no control over. Like, they were invisible all the time.
Yeah,
I mean that's kind of an insanity. Like, that's kind of horrible in a way. Like, you can't ever turn the power off. Like, that kind of, you know what I mean? That might lead any person on a dark path.
Well, that's much more of a sort of you could have, sympathy for a character like that.
Cursed with, it's like, well, it is a power. I mean, it's like if he could paint himself, you could figure out things. But it's like you could never, yeah.
It's a power and sort of a
curse,
power and a weakness. But I guess curse is better. Now, if anyone wants to write in and correct us on all the Republic and Lord of the Rings things we got wrong, you can email us at wikifiends@gmail.com. It's not just for Gloria Allred.
If you're taking the time to complain at us, you should also donate to our PayPal account, which you can also send to at wikifiends@gmail.com.
That's good.
If you're going to waste my time, make it worth it.
No. Any interaction is welcome. If you want to send us some articles, feel free. Or requests, we'll hear them out. The next one I have is If I Did It.
Ah, yes.
Are you familiar with this?
You've been on like an OJ kick.
Yeah, I kind of had this one saved up, and then when I read the Gloria Allred thing, I said, maybe I'll just pull this one out. If I Did It, which was canceled in 2006 and retitled in 2007 as If I Did It, Confessions of the Killer, is a book by ghostwriter Pablo Fenjves and purportedly by O.J. Simpson, in which Simpson allegedly puts forth a hypothetical description of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Simpson's former manager told the Huffington Post Simpson was not involved in writing the book, but rather accepted, against his advice, $600,000 from the Reagan Books and News Corp to say he had written it and conduct an interview. And it says Simpson was acquitted in the murder trials, but later found financially liable in a civil trial. Although the original release of the book was canceled shortly after it was announced in November 2006, 400,000 physical copies of the book were printed. and by June 2007, copies of the book had leaked online. The book was originally due to be published by Reagan Books, an imprint of HarperCollins, which was headed... All right, it was originally planned to be promoted via a television special featuring an interview with Simpson on Fox. In 2000... But this was canceled. In August 2007, a Florida bankruptcy court awarded the rights to the book to the Goldman family to partially satisfy the civil judgment. The title of the book was changed to If I Did It, Confessions of the Killer, and published by Beaufort Books. Comments were added to the original manuscript by the Goldman family, the book's ghostwriter Pablo Fenjvas, and journalist Dominic Dunn. The new cover design printed the word "if" greatly reduced in size compared with the other words and placed it inside the eye.
We gotta sell this shit.
Yeah, that's exactly. They have a picture of the book, in Wikipedia, and the "if" is very hard to read.
No, when first time I saw that book, it's like, OJ, I did it. And it's like, lol, I gotta get that.
Well, it's probably the only circumstance I can think of in which a small change in font size was due to revenge against the murder of a family member. I can't think of another time when that has happened.
Good catch. That's true. No, it is. It's very unique.
Yeah. And they have some other sort of possible book covers. One is If I Did It, but the "if" is much bigger. That was canceled. Also, the subtitle. It says on the cover of the book that was released, with exclusive commentary, "He Did It" by the Goldman family. So, I mean, it's again, it's horrible that those two people were murdered.
Now, marketing people are scumbags, though. That shit's fucking funny. Like, we gotta just put OJ and say, I did it. Like, that's what we gotta do. That's pretty logical. Like, but it's funny how cheap that is. Like,
It's very petty, but it's kind of like you can't really blame them. Although
I get it. Yeah,
I think the whole thing about I do think OJ killed his wife and Ron Goldman, but I think it's kind of weird that he would be found liable in a civil trial when he was found not guilty in a murder trial. I mean,
it's unique perspective.
I just think it's odd that he, I'm not very well versed in the civil trial. I mean, I'm not really well versed in either trial, but right. It just seems weird that if it was established by law that he did not kill those two people, for then a civil court to say, well, he was responsible for it. I mean, it seems like if you were the lawyer representing him in the civil trial, you just say, it's been proven that I did not kill them.
Right.
So,
I don't know the details of the case. There may have been allegations of abuse. There may have been some kind of evidence. It might have not been totally knee-jerk.
Yeah, but even if there was evidence of abuse against Nicole Simpson, which I think there was, I mean, that's a big leap from the Goldmans get, all of his money because he is responsible for their son's death.
Yeah. I mean, in the book, can I ask about the book? Does he talk about if I did it, they would have never found out anything. That would not even been a trial. Is there really speculative? Do you know anything about the contents?
The only thing it says about content is the first part of If I Did It manuscript details Simpson's early relationship with Nicole and their marriage. The latter part of the manuscript describes details of the murders as they would have occurred had Simpson committed them. However, Simpson's attorney said that there is only one chapter that deals with their deaths, and that chapter, in my understanding, has a disclaimer that it's complete fiction.
What?
In Simpson's hypothetical scenario, he has an unwilling accomplice named Charlie, who tells him to stop the murders and whom Simpson ignores. I mean, I don't know if Charlie's supposed to represent Kato Kalin, or if that's just him saying, like, if I did it, there would have been this other guy there, but there wasn't another guy, so it couldn't have been me.
Oh my God. Is there an audiobook version of this? I want to hear this shit.
I don't know. But here's what's kind of interesting. The if I did it, the tiny if I did it, Simpson's name doesn't appear anywhere on the front cover.
But doesn't he?
No, it's just a picture of police do not cross tape.
Oh, I see. Wait, didn't you say the whole thing was ghostwritten though?
Yes.
So it was just like some dude who like wrote up. He was imagining he was OJ, imagining he was like there's like a story within a story aspect to it. You know?
Well, what a ghostwriter typically does is they write for the person. So it's sort of like the person, describes or tells us, tells what happens.
Oh, you think there may have been some dictation involved?
I mean, that's what a ghostwriter is. It's they put someone's story in a written form. I mean, there's tons of ghostwritten autobiographies that were written by a ghostwriter and not the actual, subject.
It seems like that's a big difference between like, all right, you just have to make this up in your room. You have no contact with the person whose name will be on it, or someone that's like taking dictation and spinning it in a particular way. That seems like a big difference.
Well, it's not dictation. It's creating a narrative out of the details, more or less, that the subject has provided you.
I see.
In this instance, Simpson's former manager said that Simpson was not involved in it. He only granted the rights and allows people to say that it did have his involvement.
Right.
So, but
weird. That's a good cash grab.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think Simpson did it?
I don't know. I remember watching the whole trial when I was younger. And I don't know. It seems most likely he did. Who would have it out for him? Other than if there's no direct Machiavellian conspiracy, if there wasn't a person that could directly benefit from his downfall, then I have no reason to believe he didn't do it. But maybe somebody did, and you don't know. But I feel like, there's not enough evidence to feel that way.
I think he did do it.
You 100% do?
I don't want to say 100%, but because I'm not well versed in the facts, but it seems pretty clear that he is the murderer.
I think in this legal system, or when that shit happened, maybe there is ample evidence about someone that directly benefited from his downfall, and you just don't hear it. But I just feel like,
it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be those are the only two options. It could be it was an unrelated third party that killed those two people.
That's true.
Then the police were just looking to have it wrapped up as quickly as possible, so they went to the most obvious suspect.
I would have to hear too about That's the thing. I know it's like this case has been so analyzed. I know all this info's out there. Like, I would want to know about the cops, like their backgrounds at arresting him, or just, all the details. And I know all this shit. There have been there's like fucking encyclopedias of shit about this. And that's kind of part of the reason why it's like, I don't even want to, like, you know what I mean? Whenever I hear about OJ.
It's too Herculean a task.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, if he did it, I hope he did, because he got punished for it. If he didn't, that's terrible.
Well, he didn't really get. I mean, he did.
Oh, that's right. He got off. Right, he got off.
Yeah. Well, he got punished financially, but he's in jail anyways on an.
Oh yeah, the robbery.
Sort of unrelated charge. But I don't.
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I remember thinking that as a kid. Like, I was watching this as a child, just like, I don't know, man. I guess I would have let him off too. That's all. He got acquitted. So
I remember when I was a child, I was pretty much under the assumption that he definitely did.
Oh, really?
Kill. Yeah. Because I think it was like, I remember saying like, I was at a family thing, like cousins, and I think they were like just talking. We were at like dinner, and I think my cousin's dad went like, what do you think OJ's guilty? And I said, yeah. And he said, oh, why do you think that? And I said, well, because he tried to run. So, I mean, that might not hold up now in my line of reasoning, but it seems like, and this was before he was even found guilty, but it just seems like he did do it, right? But
I mean, what is the alternatives? I mean, it's that. I mean, do you give any credence to the fact that there may have been like the racial element to it? That he was, it was because he was black, and it was like a chip away at his status. You know what I'm saying? Like
that it was a conspiracy to kill his wife and her friend because he was black.
Not even him? Maybe, or not even that. It's just that like they're dead, and he's running. Let's not try too hard on this.
If it was like a police conspiracy to sort of,
or not even conspiracy, but like laziness. It's like, he's a black guy, who cares if he's rich? He's running away.
I don't think it would have been to because he's a black guy. I think it would just be because in a situation where a spouse is murdered, it's usually the one who was not murdered is looked at as the killer.
Yeah.
The running doesn't help, and police I believe often want to look like they wrap the case up as quickly as possible. And there have been many instances where that has led to someone innocent being found guilty. Fuck,
it's his fucking wife's dead. Of course he's going to be the main suspect. That's any fucking case. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, it's a weird case. Like, personally, like, I do kind of, I don't know. I just, like, the implications from it are very wild.
Mm-hmm. Would you feel confident, though, in, let's say you're a private investigator.
Uh-huh.
And someone comes with you with an offer. They say, I want you to find out the truth.
Right.
I want you to see if, and we're presupposing you're very good at private investigation. They say, I want you to find out who killed OJ.
Or you mean his wife?
Oh, yeah, who killed OJ's wife? Sorry.
It's the lover, right? He's the lover, right? Goldman?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a lover or just like an actual, just a friend. I'm not positive on that. For the longest time, I thought he was gay, but it's possible they were involved.
Was there ever a theory that the person was actually just trying to kill Goldman?
I don't know. I don't think that is a theory because I think everyone thinks that OJ did it.
I mean,
what I'm getting at is if someone asked you to solve the thing and they said, I'll pay you $1 million if it turns out that Simpson didn't do it, but you get nothing and you've wasted all your time if you find out that Simpson did, and you're guaranteed to find out the results. Would you want to take the case? Wouldn't you just already assume that he was guilty?
Mm.
Do you have faith that you could find the killer, the actual killer, and it would not be OJ?
I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, I would do what I could to get the $1 million, but I don't know though. It's like,
well, I guess that's not a fair thing. I mean, that definitely wouldn't hold up in court. But don't you think?
Are you telling me you have $1 million to give me?
I don't have $1 million. I said,
I'm just kidding.
Well, first of all, we both know you're not a private investigator, so on its face, it's not going to happen.
I would do anything to get OJ clear his name or put him behind bars for $1 million. Whichever
so
one.
You're going to take it, even if it involves you wasting, let's say, 6 months of your life.
For the chance to set OJ free / put that murder behind bars, anything.
All right, well, that's probably the right call. I just think
honestly, it's such a classic murder, you know, in a way. It's like it's one of those great things, like the bloody gloves, him running away, like, you know, it's kind of
yeah. I guess it is, but it just seems like he did it. I guess my argument only rests upon that. It really does seem like he's a murderer.
I will say this: it's like if you. God forbid you're so fucking schlocky you still make an OJ joke these day and age. If you do, the funny thing is it's like, oh yeah, he did it. You know what I mean? But like that's just like the easy kind of negative, pessimistic ass thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, but it seems like, I mean, I don't even think that's I don't understand how that could be viewed as a joke. It really does seem like he was the murderer.
Right.
There's no joke. There's nothing funny about this tragic event.
No, but it's like everybody kind of like assumes he did it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like Michael Jackson and like molesting kids.
Well, I think since he's died, people have really started to think like he probably didn't do it.
Oh, Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm actually I go
well,
back and
even,
forth. I could see it being either way. Yeah, you think we should say this?
Let's not open that Pandora's box. Maybe we'll read Wonderland, that article one day. So it's not spoiler.
You mean, isn't it Neverland?
Oh yeah, Neverland.
Wonderland was that murder involving John Holmes.
No, I was thinking of another theme park.
I don't think. Oh, Wonderland, the theme park from Beverly Hills Cop 3?
I guess I didn't realize that there was one in there.
It was in the third one, the one where they're printing the counterfeit money. And Bronson Pinchot is a gun dealer in it, like a really high-tech gun.
Tactical.
It's like shoots missiles or something. It's an odd movie. I've only seen it a couple times. So what do you have?
Well, the next the next article I have is Psychical Nomadism. So, Psychical Nomadism is a philosophical term that refers to the practice of taking as one needs from any moral, religious, political, ethical, or whatever system, leaving behind the parts of that system found to be unappealing. It is one of the main characteristics of the temporary autonomous zone by Hakem Bai, but the notion was previously discussed by Gilles Deleuze and Felix Guattari in Nomadology in the War Machine, by Jean-Francis Lyotard in Driftworks, and by various authors in the Oasis issue of Semitext. I guess it's a magazine, I believe. Psychic nomadism facilitates the construct of ad hoc reference frames in which to stimulate the temporary actions required. Bay in his essay explains why he chose the name. We use the term psychic nomadism here rather than urban nomadism, nomadology, driftwork, etc., in order to garner all these concepts into a single loose complex to be studied in the light of blah, 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 blah. He states there's a paradox in which our modern society's false unity blurs all cultural diversity, and any place is as good as another. You kind of get the gist.
What is it called? Psychic nomadism?
Yeah, psychical nomadism.
Psychical? You mean cyclical?
No, like psych, like psychology, ICAL.
Psych.
Psychical.
Psychical.
Right. Or psychic, cycle. That's a tough one to pronounce.
How do you spell it?
Cycle. Psych, Psychical.
Psychical. All right.
Or cycle. Yeah. It sounds like... What is it?
I guess psychical.
Psychical. Yeah, psychical.
Okay.
It kind of just... It's just another term for cherry picking, essentially. Mm-hmm.
Now, you said it's... I heard you mention temporary autonomous zone. Was that was discussed?
It's a book by this guy, Hakim Bey, real name Peter Lambert Wilson. Mm-hmm. He's an anarchist writer and poet.
Yeah, I'm familiar with sort of temporary autonomous zones.
Yeah, TAZ. Yeah. It's yeah. That's what he keeps referring to, the TAZ.
Right. And then psychical nomadism. What was it again?
Yes, it's a term that refers to the practice of taking as one needs from any moral, religious, political, ethical, or whatever system.
And how does this fit into temporary autonomous zones?
Is one of the main characteristics of it. To be studied in the light of the coming to be of the TAZ.
So what made you bring up this article?
It kind of interested me because I was kind of, what was it? I think it's probably one of these things that's just under the phrase of like relativism or meta philosophy or whatever. And it's just kind of one of these terms that when I read it, it seems like, this is just, this it seems like, a new sheen of paint on an old thing. But it's a thing I do agree with. And I feel like it's kind of a thing that is not given its due. And it's interesting to try to hear this concept rebranded. I kind of feel like the associations with kind of basic bitch anarchism kind of undercut what it's saying, though. Like, I feel like it's kind of a strong concept. And I feel like associations like, oh, you're just cherry picking, or like, oh, I'm a psychical nomad. Like, fuck off. Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just you take what works and you leave what doesn't, you know? There's kind of a nice pragmatism to it, like it's like time tested.
Yeah, I guess sort of less dogmatic and more
pragmatic,
That's interesting.
No, it's kind of a minor thing, but these kind of things I think are interesting though, like because it's just such a.
Wow.
It's like, hey, I take what works for me, and I don't, just little impulse, rational impulse.
I mean, my association with sort of anarchist thought is more about sort of hard principles. So it's kind of odd for me to come at it from the other angle of sort of a practical anarchism.
Or to hear that they claimed this. I mean, it seems like very just like basic.
Well,
it's like,
if I recall, he's temporary autonomous zones are they're pretty much the domain of like left wing anarchism, or I mean, not a syndicalist left-wing anarchism, but sort of I don't even know if it's a market-based anarchism or post-market anarchism. But I know it's traditionally more of a left-wing anarchist.
It's considered a utopian ideal. So it might be under the assumption of like an egalitarian utopia that this is like a rational tactic or something like that.
I think this requires. I mean, that's something I'd be interested in just reading about. More in general. It's probably not the best to to try to figure out more about this. Right now. I kind of, when I read, I've tried to read like that stuff, but it's just kind of like, oh my God. But I like practical sentiments like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this makes sense. Just because it's such common shit. Like, it's just, you cherry pick, because why would you eat the bad ones? Yeah. It's just kind of. Well, I think cherry picking it has a negative connotation of ignoring. It's not so much ignoring things that ignoring bad examples of a sort of ignoring bad examples within a larger example. So it's not used as cherry picking is not used in a positive sense. It's used as a negative to say, like, you're cherry picking is that you're not acknowledging all the bad things that are the result of X.
Right.
So, I think pragmatic's a better term. It seems also sort of like it's got like a sort of syncretic qualities to it.
Say that again. Syncretic?
Yeah, like syncretic are just like are seemingly unrelated belief systems that are brought together. Like like Christianity and then Hinduism or something.
Right.
Or like voodoo.
Right. Like, I don't think I've ever actually heard that phrase.
No? Is there anything else on this subject?
Not really.
All right, well, let's move on to the game.
What do you got?
I'm going to bring back an old favorite. Who's gay?
Oh, I'm so good at this.
All right. So in Who's Gay, I'm going to be reading from Wikipedia's list of gay, lesbian, or bisexual people. I've also sprinkled in some people that may not be on the list. And Dave has to guess who is gay or bisexual and who is not. So I'm going to be working from the M's. The first one I have is Bruce McCullough.
Who?
Bruce McCullough. He was on, you probably know him, he was from, the only thing I've really ever seen him on is Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, I haven't watched Kids in the Hall. Fuck, I don't know.
No, that's not a good one then.
I'm gonna say gay.
No, this little thing was predicated on you having watched it. There was a very gay, outwardly gay character who, I mean, that was a big, frequently discussed in the show, or used in the show. But it was Scott Thompson was the gay one. Bruce McCullough was not gay. So I was hoping you would confuse Scott Thompson for Bruce McCullough, since Bruce is sort of a as a cliche name for a gay man. But he is not gay. He's married to Tracy Ryan, and they have 2 children, 2 beautiful children.
Well, he still could be gay.
No,
Who's
he could
next?
be, but he's not on the list of gay people, which is our metric for establishing whether or not you're gay.
Hear that?
The next one is
Who's next?
Next one is MSNBC television personality Rachel Maddow.
Gay. Duh. Easy.
Yes, that is true. And I didn't know she was gay. I thought she just like sort of had that vibe, but I didn't know one way or the other.
I believe she was out for pretty much, I don't know, but like the majority that I've known about her in public
I don't
life.
keep up with MSNBC people that much. But no, it's probably on me for not knowing it. The next one we have is
Anderson Cooper.
well, no, we're looking from the M's. The next one I have is Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon, she's on Saturday Night Live, and she's in the new Ghostbuster movie.
Oh, which one? Which one?
I don't know who she plays in Ghostbusters. I don't know. Is that out yet?
No, but I've seen the ads. I'm gonna say straight.
Oh, she's a lesbian.
Oh.
And I was a bit surprised by that, just because I tend not to think about who's gay or not. So I'm always surprised when someone is gay.
I'll have to play this. I have to make you play this game.
I'm really bad at telling who's gay or not. I'm very bad. I've been horrible at it my whole life. It says, though, that she's the first openly lesbian SNL cast member.
Really?
And the third overall gay person to be on the show, or to be a cast member. The other 2 were Terry Sweeney, who's a gay man, and then Denitra Vance, who was a lesbian, but it wasn't acknowledged that she was a lesbian until after her death.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, who's
the
next?
final one is Megan Mullally.
Who?
Megan Mullally. She played Karen on Will and Grace, and she had a recurring role on Parks and Recreation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, okay.
She had that.
Say gay. I'm going to say just like straight lesbian.
No, she's bisexual, which surprised me quite a bit, because she's married to Nick Offerman, one of the stars of Parks and Recreation. So I guess that shouldn't surprise me, because I guess, like, it just did. I don't know why. I don't have to explain myself.
All right, who else you got?
Well, here, I'll give you the final one. Mwanga II of Buganda, an African king.
Who is? Mm-hmm.
Died in 1903.
He's gay.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Too much of an outlier.
Yeah.
All right. Did pretty good that time, I think. Missed quite a few though as well.
You missed Kate McKinnon, and you missed 3 of them, and then the final one didn't count because I had already said the game was over. So you got 1 out of 4 correct.
Pretty good.
It's horrible.
All right, so you ready for my game?
Go for it.
Okay, this is the Batman villain game. I'm going to do it 2 different ways. One way, I'm going to read you their origin, and you have to guess what their name is. Mm-hmm. And the other way is I'll give you their name, and you have to guess, like, their gimmick.
Okay.
All right, so Julian Day is known for committing crimes that correspond with holidays and significant dates. He often wears costumes to correlate with the date of the designated crime. His best known later day incarnation is in the miniseries Batman: The Long Halloween, where he is portrayed as a Hannibal Lecter-like figure, offering insight into Batman's search. Holiday, a vigilante who uses holidays as his modus operandi. What is the name of Julian Day's supervillain alias?
Calendar Man.
Correct. Oh, did you guess that, or did you know?
I knew it.
You knew that one. All right. Thomas Blake was a world-famous trapper of jungle cats who turned to crime because he had grown bored with hunting and squandered most of his fortune. He became a burglar who committed his crimes in a cat suit made out of ancient African cloth he believes gives him a cat's 9 lives. What is his name?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Catman.
Oh, God. I wanted to say that, but I thought I would get laughed at by the audience.
All right. I'll do it the other way. What is the gimmick or power of Maxi Zeus?
Lightning bolts? They're like Zeus the god?
Wait,
like
what?
Zeus the god?
Yes, like Zeus the god, spelled that way.
But is like that the power? Like electricity?
I'm going to say no. It's Maximilian Zeus is a former history teacher who loses his mind and starts committing crimes modeled after Greek mythology. It is more just about Zeus. Okay. like literally. Oh, he actually uses electricity-based weaponry to emulate the Greek god Zeus.
I got it right.
Pretty much, yeah. All right. Otis Flanagan is a one-time rat catcher who turned to a life of crime. He has the ability to communicate with and train rats and uses them to play Gotham. Shortly after the blah 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 began, Ratcatcher was killed by an OMAC agent in hiding. Oh, I gave you his name. It's Ratcatcher. Fuck. All right. All right, here's a weird one. What do you think the White Knight is or does? What's their gimmick?
White Knight? I don't know.
This one's creepy.
I don't know. I'm interested, though.
Like, what about a vibe? You know, like, what's the style?
White Knight?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just tell me.
All right. A mysterious being of light who seeks to battle the darkness of Gotham. White Knight targeted the relatives of Arkham Asylum inmates in order to save their souls by dressing them as angels and forcing them to commit suicide. As a very resourceful and inventive serial killer, White Knight's ultimate goal is to kill all of Arkham's inmates. It's a fucking weird one.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Is he an actual beam of light, or is he a human being?
It says a being of light.
A being?
Like, see, this one's kind of, yeah.
So is he supernatural?
Yeah, it seems like it's like God or something. It's kind of, that one stuck out to me, you know what I mean? Like, very, very weird. All right, so let me see. Who's next?
Is it Penguin?
Wait, what? Yeah, where's an easy? Here's a weird one. It's a criminal that also wore a Batman costume.
It's not Man-Bat. He just was a bat.
Right. Blue Bat.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I think I remember that.
All right. Bart Megan tried to use a device that would erase a facial scar, but ended up erasing his face.
don't know. That sounds very familiar, though.
Dr. No Face. It's so stupid, right? All right, here's one. Delius Botch is an artist who believes he receives visions of inspiration and then compulsively recreates them on whatever canvas they indicate, including people.
Is his name like the painter or something?
Doodlebug.
Doodlebug. Oh yeah, I did. I was googling. I was googling just like terms at one point, and I did see Google image searches of that.
Of Doodlebug?
Yeah, I believe.
All right. Mobster George Boss Dyke is executed in the gas chamber, but has his brain transplanted into the body of a huge gorilla. What is this called? This unnatural abomination?
I don't know. Man-ape?
Gorilla Boss.
It's a good name.
I know. There's a lot of these. Tucker Long is completely obsessed with scavenging prizes and treasures from garbage. He apparently has the ability to create all manner of functional items, especially weapons from junk. He is killed by fellow Arkham inmate Doodlebug.
I don't know, is it like the Tinkerer or something?
Junkyard Dog. Okay.
I'm not very good at this.
Well, I'm picking like really like ridiculous ones.
Yeah, I think Calendar Man was much more wide,
straightforward.
Yeah. Well, it was more. It's much more widely known character.
All right, a Japanese criminal that wears a skeleton outfit. Originally, he can put himself into a yoga trance to trick people into thinking he's dead, but when the character was revived, he comes back to life.
I don't know.
Wears a skeleton outfit and like pretends to be dead with yoga.
I don't know, like the Corpse Man or something?
Yeah, kind of Lord Death Man. I know. It's so ridiculous. I'm trying to see if there's just a regular one, like someone
like Joker.
Yeah, I know. Just two cowboys that grew up apart without knowing they were twins. They discover they share a great skill as gunslingers and become bandits, taking their motif from historic Wild West namesakes.
Is it something like Jesse James sort of thing?
Right. It's two. It's twins. Thomas and Tad.
Thomas and Tad what?
That gives it away.
Thomas and Tad. I don't know.
The Trigger Twins.
Okay. All right. Any other good ones?
No.
All right. Well, let's not drag this out any longer.
All right.
Yeah. I'm not super into superheroes.
No, but like Batman's villains though. That's kind of
I think
it's like that's a thing.
I think Batman's one of the better superheroes.
Yeah. I just like he always had good bad guys, good weird shady variety.
There's so many garbage superheroes.
Right.
Huh.
No, there are. They're mostly.
Yeah. All right, well, this has been an episode of the Wikifiends. I want to remind you to check out my post-apocalyptic tarot deck, Omega Land, available on Amazon. Dave?
Yes. When you're on Amazon, too, Google Backstab Card Game.
It's
all right.
It's fun, yeah. All right, and if you have any comments or you want to share an article, you can email us again. Our email is wikifiends@gmail.com. All right, well, have a good night.
Good night.